Okay, so for this section, I'm going to be discussing some of the positive aspects of a token economy system and how those relate to reinforcement. Now, we can get into ethical issues with reinforcement in a token economy system if we are using items such as edibles that are outside of the dietary restrictions that a client may have. So it's always important to check first and make sure that any tangible or edible reinforcers that are being used, that we have had clearance to use these reinforcers first before we implement any program. Now, in the situation that Patty presented, she had a client who was using a token economy system to increase the target behavior of making requests using 3 or more words. Patty found quickly that through the reinforcement of the token economy system, that her client's behavior of using 3 or more word requests quickly increased. So we know that our reinforcer was good enough and that it increased the behavior. However, Patty quickly found that her client figured out that he could just request, "I want a penny," and this qualified as a 3 or more word request, and he would immediately be given his penny token, and he was able to get access to his reinforcer more quickly. However, the therapist wanted to make sure that he was increasing the variety of his requests, and simply saying, "I want a penny," wasn't doing much to help him build his vocabulary and build his variety of requests. So Patty realized that there needed to be a change made in this token economy system. Now here's where we want to make sure that we're not getting into any ethical dilemmas and make sure that the change in his program must be made in an ethical manner. We would not want to immediately withhold reinforcement for the statement, "I want a penny," because if we're withholding the reinforcement for this, we would be putting it on extinction, and this would reduce his requesting of "I want a penny," which could then reduce any future requesting using 3 or more word statements. So while the use of this token economy system can be very beneficial to this client, and that we do need to change the program up a little bit, we just have to make sure we're doing this in an ethical manner. It's also important to make sure with any token economy system that our target behavior is operationally defined and that the schedule of delivery of reinforcement is understood by who's ever implementing this plan, and that these guidelines are strictly followed so that reinforcement isn't being given too frequently, or that it's not being given frequently enough, because that again could bring up some ethical issues, especially if we're using a reinforcer such as an edible or a tangible. So to wrap that up, token economy systems, the reinforcement that is given from these systems can be great, and it has a lot of pros, but we also need to make sure that this reinforcement is being followed in an ethical manner.